What up, what up, what up? Welcome back to the greatest show on earth. This is the LeVar Walker Daily Show podcast. Shout out to everybody for tuning in. But I've been bringing this podcast back. I had to dust off the mic because I do this shit so inconsistently. And sometimes I just don't feel like doing it. But since I got a show coming up this weekend, we're in the countdown phase. Today is Monday. The show is Saturday, where I will be live at the Atlanta Comedy Theater. We got a few tickets sold. It's not doing too bad. It could do a whole lot better though, but that's okay because I'm more appreciative of the people that have bought that ticket. We're gonna rock out and have a great time, and I really appreciate you all for investing your time with me. So here I am coming live to you all from the house. This is the room that I have built to do this podcast in. Y'all can see in the back, I got my arcade game. I got all my sneakers on the wall. This shit is blurred out because I don't want nobody kicking no doors in and nothing around here. And this is just a place for me, basically just to talk to the people and to talk about everything that's going on in life, that's going on in the world. Shout out to everybody over there on Instagram. Hopefully, you guys are watching this too, because this is like my first time streaming uh, between Instagram and Facebook and all of these other platforms. So today we're just gonna start today's discussion off with I don't know because I'm just on here talking. I really don't even know what to talk about. I thought about going to get my car washed this morning, but it was raining and I didn't go. So I said, you know what? Let me just crank out some videos, do some boring shit, and just talk to the people. I'm gonna go into the comment section to see what everybody got to say. Shout out to Ether Shakur. Happy Monday to you, Ether. Happy Monday to everybody. And I want to give a rest in peace and my condolences goes out to the brother that owned the crab store. He owned a seafood shop and he was gunned down in Atlanta. He was a guy that had built a restaurant right next door to one of my favorite places, Mr. Everything. Shout out to him right there on MLK. And he built that seafood broiler, but unfortunately, he was gunned down, which is very, very sad. And my prayers go up to him and his family. And we really need to do something in our community to combat hatred. So I guess we could start this off by looking to your neighbor and saying hatred. We need to do something to combat it. I think it's very important for people to know that to compare comparison is the death of joy, right? If you're comparing your situation, because I know we all looking at social media and Instagram and all this shit, and we're all as humans, our human animal nature and those animal brains cause us to compare our lives to others' lives. And if you don't feel that you equate to that other person's life, it brings out all types of insecurities, jealousy, envy, hatred. And you really have to get in front of that to where you're not comparing or competing with anybody. I don't like friends that compete. I don't like to ever be in a relationship with a person. If you my homie, you the homie. But I don't do that competing shit. Like I hate that shit. Like I got this, and then this nigga pop up. I got like now I can't do this friendship anymore. And I'm the type of person I just disappear on the motherfucker. I don't argue. I just disappear. And that might be due to my Virgo nature. I really don't know, but I don't have time for that. A lot of relationships, you just have to let go. Sometimes you just gotta cut people the fuck off and call it a day. And I don't even put it out. I'm not the guy. I don't like to get on Instagram talking about. I don't want to be that guy. I'm cutting everybody out of my life. in 2024, you cut them out. You've been cutting people out every year, and you shouldn't have anybody left. I don't want to be that guy, but when dealing with people and others, it needs to be love. It needs to be all collaborative efforts. And no, I'm not. I'm not doing that. I'm not competing. Also, too, I got some news yesterday. The show that I was on, Life and Beth on Hulu, has been canceled after 2 seasons. Um, it's canceled. So the show is over with. And I can't be any more thankful to Amy Schumer and everybody over there at Hulu for rolling the dice and taking a chance on me, putting me in the role, playing myself as LeVar, the pharmacist. Um, that was a great thing, man. So for those of y'all who don't know, in 2020, I got on the show called Life and Beth that was on Hulu. I don't know if a lot of you watched it, probably not, seeing that it has been canceled, but it was just such a tremendous opportunity for me. It was a mind blowing opportunity because I was on the show as a writer as well as an actor, and I mean, I got to work alongside like some heavyweights, man. I found myself being, getting into the comedy cellar thanks to Amy Schumer. I got to do a show with Jerry Seinfeld. I got to really be in the room with a lot of great people, the big time white folks. And it was like a dream come true, straight up. So that experience was everything to me. And yeah, I'm not tripping. I mean, this is a blessing. Um, when you in this business, what I've learned being in this business and being full time in this business for the past 4 years is you just gotta ride in the wind. You put your work out, but you gotta have that belief system and that faith to know, that God has you. And every time, some will blow my way, fortunately. And but that experience was a total blessing. And as a matter of fact, when I was filming, I think in 2021, because the world is shut down in 2020 with COVID. So we was writing the beginning of 2020, and then the world is shut down. So I had to put that lab coat back on, thankfully. And I'm thankful to be a pharmacist too, by the way. I know I talk my shit, but I'm not going to, sit here and knock all that hard work I put in to study those sciences and get that doctorate degree. And having that degree, it even helps me to be an asshole to those who say I'm not funny. Well, I might not be, but you will get sick eventually, and I can always go back. But um, I'm gonna tell y'all, like, my whole life or my whole career as a comedian, I worked as a pharmacist. I did comedy and pharmacy simultaneously, and I was just working like as needed as a pharmacist between Kaiser and CVS, filling shifts, getting off, doing open mics, going on the road. One thing led to another. Now, I never looked at entertainment as a viable way to survive because I'm blue collar. I grew up on the south side of Chicago. It was about getting a job. We were trained as workers in the Midwest. That's what it was. Your ass get you a good wage and some benefits. Get you a job. They paying X amount of dollar an hour over there. Your ass need to get you a job. Job, job, job. We were job people. And like the entertainment business to us was, I mean, in Chicago, this the 80s and 90s. All I saw was pimps, the dope man. I didn't see a lot. There wasn't a lot of opportunity. So I always kept my nose to the grindstone. I was funny, but I think I lacked, just the belief in a bigger picture for myself. And I just worked. So a lot of things y'all saw me on whether I'm winning the competition or doing the Shaq All Star Comedy Jam, most of that shit you saw me on, man, I do a theater and I'll be in a theater one day. This is literally the truth. I will be in a theater one day with 1,500 people, and the next day I'm back behind the register at CBS. This is the honest to God truth. Um, so what was happening for me is that when I was working, it became a lot harder for me because it was just like my chest hurting, the pressures going through the roof, the dynamics of retail pharmacy. I mean, it's just, and especially right now, it's just impossible. It's impossible because they're not even being reimbursed from the medications that are being dispensed, and you just got people getting their ass kicked, and the front store used to make money till Amazon came. It's just the dynamics of this business are treacherous, and I felt that. I felt that effect, and I tried as God was telling me to go another way. God kept saying, I got something I want your ass to do, and you're not listening. So when you walk back into that store, I'm going to set your damn chest on fire every time until you get the message. I got the message in 2021, I'll say. Uh, Now, I hadn't worked most of 2021 because we was working on the show. But I came to the decision I'm not going back. And I'm going to tell you how I came to this decision. I was in New York and I'm filming Life and Beth, and Hulu put me up at the Soho Grand. So I'm staying in Soho. I go to get it was a beautiful day. This is 2021. They still had like some mask guidelines and shit. But it was a beautiful day. It was sunny outside. I went to buy me some pants or something from Zara. And I had me a wonderful lunch, talked to my dad. It was just beautiful. I like, man, this shit is like a dream. So I'm walking back to the hotel. And when I walk back to the hotel, I hear my name being called. Yo, LeVar, what up, nigga? And I looked, it was Donnell Rawlins. And Donnell was sitting having lunch outside because everybody was eating outside. And right next to him was Dave Chappelle. And I was like, yo, what up, man? Yo, what you doing out here? And I was telling them, I'm like, man, I'm working on this show. It's great, playing myself, doing some writing on the show. And Dave looked over, man, congratulations to everything you got going on. And I was like, wow, this is my hero that showed me that love. And so after that, I didn't take no pictures or nothing. I just dapped them because I ain't want to cause commotion. I pulled the phone out. So I just dabbed both of them. I went to my room. Donnell DM me, yo, good to see you. And I say, man, you doing some time out here? He's like, yeah, I'm gonna be at the stand. So I say, cool. I had a little money on me, so I got me the big Uber Black. Shot over to the stand. I go to the stand. I don't see Donnell, but a couple people recognize me, and I'm just walking around, just chilling. It's a vibe. Still didn't see Donnell. Text him, no response. But I started to see people going to the bottom of the stand, and they had these wristbands on and shit. I didn't have a wristband, so I just said, "Fuck it, I'm going to try to go down here too." So I go down. The lady just takes my phone, put it in a pouch, and they sit me down. Didn't ask nothing, didn't see a wristband, none of that shit. So I wasn't really supposed to be there, but I was there. So anyway, when they took the phone, I said, damn, this must be a Dave Chappelle show that's about to happen. And this room probably hold about 150 people. So I'm in the dark in the base. I'm talking to a guy. And we were talking, the guy had a hood on, but he stands up and it happened to be Questlove that I was talking to. And then, the DJ was getting it right. Shout out to DJ Trauma. He set the mood right. And then I see Donnell appear. He begins to host. Um, the first comedian was, I believe, Michelle Wolf. The second comedian was John Stewart. The third comedian was Marlon Wayans. The fourth comedian was Chris Rock. and I'm just in awe. I'm like, oh shit. So I'm drinking. They had a drink called a Rick James. I'm getting nice. So I go upstairs and I bump into Michael Shea. Michael Shea from SNL. I knew Michael Shea from he did like he opened up on the Shaq tour. This was before he got famous. He showed me some love. I think Gerard Carmichael, Trevor, all these people with this show. And so I go back downstairs, say, yo, man, I'm gonna go downstairs because when Chris Rock was on stage, I went upstairs. You know what I mean? He was doing this thing, but I went to get a drink. I say, yo, I'm going back down so I can catch Dave. So I walk back down, I'm in this corridor, and I'm walking down, and it's just me, and then Dave appears. And he remembered me from earlier today. He said, man, congratulations to everything you got going on. And what's your name again? I want to look you up. I say, oh shit. I said LeVar Walker. And he went, he did a wonderful 2 hours. It was just amazing to sit and watch him. And, and you know, when the show let out, I was like, damn, bro, I'm around all this greatness. I'm around all this greatness. Like heavyweights in comedy. And I'm not supposed to be here, but I'm kind of supposed to be here. And in that moment, I heard God speak. And I said, I can't go back. I said, this is it. I don't know what's going to happen, but I have to walk in faith. And by the grace of God, I've been able to do very well after just listening and walking in faith and courage. Now, I'm not doing this, I'm not talking to y'all, and I'm not telling any of you guys to quit your job because it will not work out how it worked out for me. That's not to say that I don't want everybody to follow their passions, but I just don't want people jumping off a cliff and then shit not adding up. To quit your job or to follow your passion is really something that you have to know. It's a thing that you have to know on the inside. It's a thing of God and just about you, there's no textbook, there's nobody that can hold your hand to make you do a faith walk. And then you have to be willing to lose every fucking thing, which is where I arrived. I said, you know what, fuck this. If I lose it all, I know. I was at that point. I said, if I lose everything, if I don't have shit no more, cool, because I will know. And basically, it was a case of my regrets grew bigger than my fears. So when your regrets grow bigger than your fears, you'll know. You can see and then you can walk into that door. But a lot of times our fears are things that have never happened and probably won't happen. Because if your fears would happen, then you'll be a psychic or some shit. You know what I'm saying? So like, a lot of you won't know until you try, basically. So there I was, man, New York doing my thing, and I've been blessed ever since, and that's why I'm here to tell you guys to get those tickets to the Atlanta Comedy Theater, where I will be doing two shows August 3rd, 7 and 10 p.m. You can go to LeVarWalker.me and get those tickets and pull up, man. And pull up because we're gonna have a great, great time. Shout out to everybody over there on Instagram. I see all y'all and everybody that I'm talking to here. Mm. Ah, boy, I know that was a long, drawn out story, which it was, but that is literally where I'm at, and I couldn't be happier with life. And one thing about it, I don't give a fuck. I think I've changed my mind to like there's no such thing with a L. A L will never be a loss to me. A L is a lesson, right? To fail is just first attempt in learning. So the deeper I get into that system of belief, the easier things become in some weird way. I can't really explain it, but that's just what it is. I see y'all asking some questions in these comments. How do I feel about Project 2025? I don't have any feelings towards it. I really don't care. Like I say, this presidential election will not affect most of our lives. It really doesn't matter. And I said this yesterday. What matters the most is you voting more so for your local government, like you know what I'm saying, like the water board, things that affect you locally will matter to you more than this presidential election. I can promise you that shit. But most of this presidential election is just for us to talk and bicker. So I don't really get into that shit. I don't know shit about a Project 2025. I saw it. You know, when I looked at it, it looked weird, but I don't know. I can't separate what's real from propaganda at this point. So I'm not equipped to discuss what I don't know about. And I'm done. I am not arguing about no damn politics no more. It's too divisive. And I'm just checking out. And I'm really checking out. Let me see what let me see who this is. Somebody texted me. Sure. Shout out to whoever just hit me up. Yeah, but let's see what's going on. Let's just talk some shit today because I guess I've given you guys a lot. School is starting back. My son is starting back in school. Also, too, in Clayton County, LOL. In Clayton County, the teachers in Clayton County, I live in Atlanta, Georgia. Clayton County is a county in Georgia. I live in Fulton County, but I'm sure this will be happening in Fulton too. Um, I just want to let you guys know that a lot of the teachers in Clayton County have quit. So they got like 240 something teacher positions that are open. And then they got all these kids about to go back to school. I salute those teachers. I'm just gonna be honest. I'm proud of those teachers, and more teachers should do the same. Just get the fuck out of there, right? Like because it's just ridiculous what teachers have to go through. It's a huge, it's a huge burden on these teachers. They're already not making money, and then they're not making money. They increasing class size, all this shit on them. So good. I'm glad they quit. Put their ass in a bind. Sometimes you just gotta leave some shit. Sometimes you have to leave abuse, and you just gotta do what you gotta do. So I'm not even upset at those teachers at all. Hopefully, I feel like we should go to a voucher system for schools. Like I pay private tuition for my child because there's not any good schools in the area. You know what I mean? I got to pay all this money and shit every year for him to get the necessary education because there's no good schools in the area. But I think we should all go to a voucher system. I think we should go to a system of where these schools should compete for your money. I think every parent should get a voucher, a $20,000 a year voucher, and you decide where your child goes to school. And those schools that are underperforming should be shut the fuck down, plain and simple. And then you get a lot of bureaucracy and all that bullshit out of the way, and we just look at performance metrics. That's how I feel. So that is what it is, guys. I don't know if y'all was looking for some. Everything starts on your kids out of control. I don't think it's about um if your kid is out of control. You say if everything starts if your kid's out of control, homeschool your kid. I mean, it's a lot to that, right? If you put kids in a bad environment, they might behave like the environment. Like they say, one bad apple spoils a bunch. And if you leave the teachers powerless to where they can't discipline kids and they can't get a hold of the kids in class, then the other kids are going to join in and miscreant behavior, and they're going to behave in a certain way, and they just all going to join in. It's just a fucked up system. You know, you got to change that. You have to change it, or it's only going to get worse. So yeah, it's only going to get worse. So that's what it is, man. Um, we have to do better. We have to do better in our education system. But let's get into some bullshit because I'm just rambling right now. I'm glad y'all sitting here spending some time with me though. This means the world. Damn, Stacey Dash is ready to come home and support Kamala Harris. I guess them acting roles are drying up. She don't have a choice. That's so sad. Poor Stacey Dash. Well, I mean, I'm not support who you want, but you know, she's been a advocate for the Republican Party. She's talked down on Democrats. She's marched with the Republicans, and all of a sudden now, as I guess as the money tightens, she wants to support Kamala. Yes, she needs to get a gig. I guess that's just what it is. And that's what happens. That's why it's so important to build your own shit. So you don't have to. That's why I'm doing this, man. This podcast right here is the biggest shit in the world to me. I don't give a damn if it's 3 people watching this. This is big. Ain't no bigger podcast than this. You know what I mean? And I would encourage each and every person to watch this. That's how you supposed to believe in your own shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, do you own your shit? Push your shit, man. It's all about belief systems. So Bros Balla. You say realists do don't always speak in your mind. Yeah, you know, it's all love, man. I just want to talk. I just want to get out here and talk. And you know, it is an exercise for me too to do this because it's like, you know, as a comic, you constantly thinking and trying to come up with material and shit like that. And this is just a great way. Because I'm just talking. I'm just literally pulling shit from the air as I sit here and talk. Before I was doing a lot more with like video, you know, doing reactions and shit like that. But now it's just like, you know what? How about the awkwardness of just talking, staring straight into that camera? You don't know what people are saying on the other side. And you just deliver. I saw today, this was some propaganda. I saw this today. They said 50% of EV owners are ready to switch back to gas cars. 50% of EV owners are ready to. I thought that's a crock of shit. That is the biggest piece of propaganda that I've heard. I drive a Tesla. I have an EV. I have an older model Tesla, hella miles on that shit. But when I tell you that is the greatest car that I've ever owned in my life, there are no problems. You can drive them forever. You don't need an oil change, radiator fluid, transmission fluid. You don't need none of this. There's nothing better than an electric car. Why the hell would you want to go back to gas? Like, right, if you just got a cool car, you got to fill that shit up every couple of weeks and then it breaks down. You know what I'm saying? Like the shit is gonna break down, and then you gotta go see a raggedy ass mechanic and shit. It's too much. And I do have a gas powered truck and my Tesla, but I drive my Tesla every day. And the only people that are saying that 50% of EV owners are thinking about switching back to gas is the oil and gas companies. That's the propaganda that they put out because they want to keep us dependent on that shit. That's it. That's coming from, you know, the Saudi Arabia and fucking all the Middle Easterners that make their coin off oil and gas. The demand for oil and gas will drop. Oil and gas is going to become the new table salt. If you go back in the history of time and look in history, Table salt was a big commodity because table salt was a preservative used to preserve food before refrigerators were out. So like salt was expensive as hell because you needed that shit to put to salt your food to put that shit in the cabinet to preserve it. Well, when refrigeration came out, salt became worthless. As EVs, more and more EVs hit the market, they're becoming incredibly more affordable. You can get a used Tesla for a little or nothing right now. The more and more that come on the market, the less people will need gas, the less people will pay gas tax, and it's inevitable. So I would say this: I wouldn't care about the government saying you need to go to EVs. You don't have to do that. I think people, if you want a gas car, you should be able to get it. But I just think inevitably electric will take over. I mean, it's just equivalent to the car and the horse. You know what I mean? You still want to ride to work on the fucking horse? No, you in a car. So that's what's going to happen. And I think I'm going to get out of here because I don't have anything else to talk about. But look, guys, this is I'm gonna wrap this up. But look, I'm gonna be at the Atlanta Comedy Theater August 3rd. Two shows. You can go to lavarwalker.me and get those tickets. I'm gonna be going live every day until the show, and then probably even after the show, and just keep talking, keep going, going, going. And I love you all, and I appreciate you all for the support. So pull up on your boy. We're gonna have a good time. We're gonna have some fun, and let's go. And oh, Chicago, I'm coming home September 16th to the 22nd. I'll be doing a comedy festival with Lil Rel, the What's Funny comedy festival. So y'all pull up on me, holla at your boy, man. I'm LeVar Walker. There's been another episode of the LeVar Walker Daily Show podcast. Shout out to the Davidsons. I see you, bruh. I see found me on Kev's. Keep your distance, man. I appreciate that. But we're gonna wrap this show up. I'm LeVar Walker, man. Thank you guys for tuning in. Good night and God bless. Let me, oh man, let me turn this off here. All right, guys, I'm out.